Today we're going to have a quick lesson in foreign interference, foreign influence, and foreign astroturfing, and how that leads to a whole bunch of people in, social, not just social media, but also the mainstream media, that are selected for you to watch. And that's foreign interference. That's foreign agents that put themselves at the forefront of the public debate while squashing real people that, the domestic population, like the average Australian like myself, squashing our ability to speak. And we also, what they do is they astroturf each other. What people talk about is, if you're part of the CCP, what you will do is you will only promote other CCP members, right? Or what you will do is, if you are working for Israel, you will only support and mention and promote other agents of Israel, you see? It's the same thing. We got two superpowers vying to control Australia, and the people that are suffering are you. So what we're going to have a look here at is the Christian lobby. This is a Christian lobby, apparently. Look at them. Australian Christian lobby. Grassroots movement. Like, is that supposed to mean that they're Australian, grassroots, like average Aussies like myself? I don't think so. I don't think they are. And it's funny, they got, what is it? acl.org.au. That's interesting. Like, does that mean they've got an org and they're an official Christian lobby? What if they're not? Okay. I am going to pitch my case that these guys might not be who they seem to be, and just by what they're promoting. Let's just have a look at their Twitter. The Twitter should tell us everything that we need to know about these people. So it's authorized by M. Pearce, whoever the hell that is. Australian Christian Lobby, Canberra. Sounds very, very political. So let's have a look through. Pinned comment or post. What is this? Let's see. The Gender Experiment, Part 2. Now, why is the Christian, the Christian lobby talking about gender? Gender is something that's promoted by political parties to distract you from real issues like your standard of living, inflation, housing costs. Whenever someone's talking about gender and trans and men in female toilets, I don't care. To be honest, I just don't care. Like, if a man that says he's a woman wants to get in the ring and bash a woman, and another woman is willing to get in the ring, go at it. You can both do that if you want. My most important pressing issues are my country being stolen from me. And so why is the Christian lobby posting about that? Is that something that Christians would really post? Let's just work our way through anyway. So the pinned comment, this is the most important pressing issue for the Christian lobby, is like, what is it, some documentary talking about gender. Obviously it is like a right-wing sort of traditional sort of like, we shouldn't be letting our kids become trans, basically, or whatever. That's not really at the top of the minds of most Christians, I don't think, unless they watch too much Sky News. So, Australian Christian lobby. Oh, we're heading to the polls. Why does that matter? Now, this is the one that I'd like to highlight here, which is evidence that this isn't a Christian lobby. It's actually foreign influence. So what we have here is, in Canberra, someone went around handing out pamphlets, apparently. They're called neo-Nazi flyers. Now, the only people that say neo-Nazi are, working for Israel, because, we're signaled that Hitler and, Germany's like the worst thing that's ever happened to the world. And you know what would happen if Australia shook off our leaders and we put a king in place or something like that? We would have so many other countries trying to kill us, and we would be the next coming of Hitler, basically, Australia, just because we want sovereignty. And this is how the world really works. So, why is the Christian lobby attacking white men? Well, then they're not Christians. I would just argue that they're not Christians. Attacking the people who have suffered the most is not something that a Christian lobby would do. So this is foreign influence right here. This is not something like you'd think that some flyers that went around Canberra would not be on the top list of for Christians, but the Christians and Catholics, they've been weakened and they're poor and they've been attacked. You know, I would also think that a lot of the Epstein stuff was put in place by Israel to discredit Catholic and Christians as well, and get Christians and Catholics to discredit themselves. If you're a Christian, you should be outraged by this. Australia for the white man. How do we know that even like white guys did this? You see, like it could have been put in place by the same people that made this post. It's not something that Christians would really be posting. Okay. Radical agendas, Christian schools. What is this? The battle for Australia's future. If you have a close look, okay, well, there's looks like a Chinese girl, a middle-aged Chinese lady praying for Australia. Ah, so an immigrant matters more than the people who actually built the country. The Christian lobby, hey? Okay, so last week they started promoting Tuesday, 25th of March. There was a live streamed event. Now, okay, and who's going to attend this? The Honourable John Howard. Now, anybody here know if John Howard is even Christian? He's not. John Howard is Jewish. He's not Christian at all. Go through the list. Let's have a look at the list. Now, are any of these people even Christian? Right at the top is a guy who is not a Christian. Why is the Christian lobby promoting someone who's not a Christian? It's called ASTROTURFing, guys. And you work your way through the list, and the majority of these people are not Christian. And if some of them say that they're Christian and they're being promoted by people who are foreign agents, then this is another thing that is hard to wrap your head around. There's Australians that have pretended their entire lives to actually be Christian or Catholic, when in fact they were Jewish, or they were something else, or they were just foreign agents in general. Yeah, you go through the list, and yeah, there's Kurt Wall. You can go through even some of the names, even though they've changed their names, some of these people. Most of those people are foreign agents. So why is the Christian lobby promoting these people unless the Christian lobby is not actually Christian? Because you'd think that Christians would be against genocide, right? And there is a genocide of the white man happening in Australia right now. So this Christian lobby is actually foreign agents, or they're just racists. But you go through that list, the majority of those people are Jewish. They're not Christian. and large percentage of them are foreign agents. They're not Australian at all. They're not even, they pretend to be Australian and probably pretend to be Christian to convince you that to listen to them. And then they just astroturf each other, promote each other, and real Australians never get a say. So what's this? Okay, the abortion bill. I guess Christians would post that. Is that a Down syndrome Asian girl? Every life is precious except for, white men. There's nothing in here about like white men homelessness, white men unemployment, white men with disabilities, white men discrimination, none of that. It's just here we go.
Christians have been persecuted in different parts of the world. As we mourn the massacre of Christians along with other minorities in Syria, I want to bring your attention to the persecution of Christians on our own soil. You might argue that Christian persecution in Australia is nowhere near the severity of those countries.
She sounds Chinese to me.
Or death, like those in other. For more than 2,000 years, Christians have been persecuted in different parts of the world. As we mourn the massacre of Christians.
There's another part of that people don't talk about, is that Christians have been impersonated, had their identity stolen, and impersonators have fake gurus, fake people have lied to us our entire lives from the beginning of history and misled us. And that's why we've suffered so much. Who is this person? What is she doing? If so what she's probably born overseas. She sounds like she's probably Chinese. And was she born a Christian? I doubt it. Maybe she's a born again Christian that happened later on in life. Then she comes to Australia and then she gets all politically motivated. She's like out there, getting involved in politics. Now,
if you live in New South Wales, along with other minorities in Syria, I want to...
So my question is, should we be listening to this person, and should this person be on any sort of Australian Christian group? I don't think so. I think these are foreign agents. What is this? It's all political stuff. So I think this is the leader of the Christian this website or group.
Greens want more abortion. If you live in New South Wales, please take action today, because the Greens have introduced a bill to attack medical practitioners who currently have the right to refuse to participate in abortions. Why? Because the Greens want more abortions in more places. Remember what happened with Calvary Hospital in the ACT? The ACT government took the hospital over because it didn't offer the full range of women's health services. This was because the hospital was run with a Catholic ethos, and Catholics are into protecting life rather than destroying it. This Greens bill will grant the New South Wales Health Minister the same.
Look, I'm sure if I dig deep into this and who this person is and why they're pushing laws that have nothing to do with me as a real Australian, then I would have an issue. Then I'll be able to find out what is going on, why they exist in the first place. I just don't have the time, but it just smells like foreign agents to me, looks like foreign agents, quacks like a duck. I can spend 5 minutes on this website and be like, oh wow, this is foreign agents. So she's trying to change the bill, try to push through laws. What do these laws actually mean? What's the finer details? We don't know anything about it. None of these people who pretend to be good Christians ever push through laws that help you and change your life. They push weird things like this. They're just a big distraction, and that's what they're doing. They're distracting you. Pray for Syria. What is going on here? So Israel invaded Syria literally a couple of weeks ago. I'm sure you guys are aware of that. This is just weird. You notice all these foreign agents, they're always directing us to stuff that Israel's doing in the Middle East. Like, why do we need to know about that? What about Christians in Australia? Like, where it's at the point now we care so much about everyone all across the world. The thing is, we don't care. Real Australians don't care. I don't know any Syrians. I don't even know where. If you give me a map, I don't even know where it is. Oh well, I know where it is. I had a close look, but you know what I mean. It is so far away. I've never been there, and I'm well traveled compared to most Australians. How many Australians would even know anything about Syria? Why are they posting about this unless they're foreign agents? This is what foreign agents do. They try to tell you what's going on in the Middle East and steal your money and send it over there. Well, that's vague enough. That's probably the most legitimate post I've seen so far. Let's pray for some leadership or something. Mardi Gras. Okay. People are mocking Jesus. Yeah, pray. Like when I go through it and I have a look at this, who are they praying to? That's the thing. Like you can be a foreign agent and want people to just go pray. You know, this is part of the reason why the Spanish Inquisition happened, because there were too many foreign agents, and they needed to go through and find out who was who and clean it out. Anti-vilification? Oh, hang on. Hang on. Anti-vilification. Is this the anti-Semitism thing? Yeah, I don't think doctors will be forced to do abortions. I don't think that's a thing. Surely they don't have to. It's like a made up law. Yeah, the Mardi Gras insulted insulted Jesus. I get that one being posted. That's a bit vague. Okay. The mockery of Christ. You know, you can say these vague things and actually be working for someone else.
MLC today in the parliament, and we are catching up to talk about the anti-vilification and social cohesion bill that has been in the parliament for quite a while.
Where the fuck are you from? Why are you getting involved in politics? Who are you? What do you want?
And David,
You just can't trust them. What is the point of this? Anti-vilification. Okay, I'm not exactly sure. Maybe it's because Christians are saying things about, I guess, the LGBTQ LMNOP crowd, and they're getting in trouble. Abortions. Well, promoting John Howard and a whole bunch of Israeli agents That's one nail in the coffin of these people actually being Christians. Second one, is attacking white men, which is what foreign agents do. Because white men are the ones that they need to kill to take over Australia, right? Yep, the distracting us with gender transitions, trans people. That's a distraction, by the way, guys. More of the same distraction crap. It's just distractions. Yeah, who would this benefit? We don't know who this would benefit to push back against it. Okay, here we go. They're promoting Sky News. There you go, guys. They're promoting Sky News. Yeah, anything to do with protecting women's sports, like going down and playing tennis or rugby or playing netball with the girls. How does that matter more than you having a roof over your head and a job, stable income, having the ability to have kids? None of that matters, guys. It just doesn't affect you, and you wouldn't even know it existed as a talking point unless these foreign agents were talking about it. It just never enters my mind. It's not even something that I would. Why is my mind? Why does my mind have knowledge of this topic other than foreign agents distracting me with it, like Sky News? Promoting Pauline Hanson. You notice it's not Christians that they're promoting. You notice a lot of what they're doing here is they're promoting politicians. This is a lobbying group for politicians, not for actual Christians. I would like to see in here uh, an Australian Christian that is doing his best to be a good person in every aspect of his life, a proper pious Aussie Christian man. Someone that you can trust because he is known to be pious and good and doing his best to be good at least. But these people don't exist. All they promote is politicians. So we're just supposed to take the word of this Christian lobbying group that these politicians that they're promoting are the ones that we should trust. Based on what? Trust me, bro. We've got some Asian chick from China by the sounds of things that is not Australian. She's not Australian. She might have got the certificate, but there's a very good chance she's a foreign agent. Same as that blonde. Oh, here we go. Anti-Semitic stuff. There we go. We don't even have to scroll down very far to realize that these guys are owned by Israel. It turns out the Christian lobby is run by Israel. Why would shutting down this or promoting this anti-Semitism bill matter unless they're working for Israel? Yeah, they're pushing it hard. They want to, if you say anything bad about a Jewish person, they want to put you in jail for 2 years. Proper dictator stuff. Yeah, it's funny here. What they don't like is anti-vilification. They don't want people. They want to be able to vilify people based on the color of their skin, their race, their religion. But the only law that this Christian lobby is pushing is vilification against Jews. Can you see that? So the only thing that they want to protect is the Jews. The anti-Semitism bill only protects Jews. It doesn't protect Christians. So this Christian lobby is basically working for Israel. Wouldn't they be putting forward a not an anti-Semitism bill? Wouldn't it be just discrimination against Christians, Catholics, and Jews, and everybody? Or even if they just hated the Muslims, like what Israel does, wouldn't they just go, okay, look, we want the anti-Semitism, but we also want to protect Christians as well. But this Christian lobby's not doing that at all, are they? You see what's happening here? This entire movement here that they say is grassroots is basically working for Israel. Yeah, the Human Rights Commission, if you have a close look at all the members on the Australian Human Rights Commission, they're ideologically driven by racist immigrants to the country that have decided to get political. There's a Chinese guy that works at the Australian Human Rights Commission, and he's just driven to hate on white men. Like, that's actually his job. You would never see a human rights commission in China with a bunch of white guys going, "Oh, we better lock up these Chinese guys." You just wouldn't see it over there. But in Australia, all of our institutions are being captured by foreign agents. Oh, there we go. Don't you think it's a bit rich? They're saying anti-vilification, which covers, anti-Semitism, by the way. And if you say anything anti-Semitic, you can get in trouble with this anti-vilification law. But it covers everybody. But this Christian lobby that would be protected by this anti-vilification law as well. See, this is what Sky News does all the time. They say they're discriminating against Jesus. Isn't that vilification? Like, what if we there's like the LGBTQ LMNOP at the Mardi Gras, they put up some sort of an effigy of a Jew or, Jewish people or something, and they start spearing them instead of Jesus. Would there be a big deal? Well, yes, there would, but the big deal would be enforced by the police and the legal system. Those people would actually be arrested. They'd probably be followed for the rest of their lives. But when it comes to Jesus, even the Christian lobby, which is not Christian at all, clearly, isn't lobbying to put those people in jail. What they want is stronger laws that only protect the Jewish community through the anti-Semitism laws. So you see how there's only laws to protect the Jewish community and zero laws to protect Christians. And this Christian lobby, quote unquote lobby, that pretends to be Christian, clearly has a Chinese girl on at the front there. And I would dare say, I don't know, but that blonde lady, she couldn't be Christian. She just couldn't be. I don't think she's Christian. I think when you look at what they promote here, there's a high probability that she's like John Howard, pretending to be a white Australian Christian, good Christian lady that we trust. But really, she's working for Israel. And there's a lot of them out there. You go through that list of people that are turning up, a whole bunch of them are actually just working for Israel, or just captured and evil psychopaths that are willing to take cash and become well known, even though they add zero to society. Yeah, yeah, the consequences. I think the Muslims would like to have an anti-vilification law to prevent the Jewish community from attacking them. That's another factor here, is that most of the vilification that I see everywhere is directed at Muslims, pushed by Jewish people in Australia. All of the attacks, I rarely, if ever, and if anyone says anything or does anything in the slightest bit naughty, the legal system comes after them because it's run by Israel. And the thing is, I don't need to know exactly who runs it. I can see it by what their agenda is. Their agenda tells me everything that they're doing. You would think that they would be pushing to put the people in jail that ridiculed Jesus and wanted him speared. There's no laws in place because they're not Christians and they don't really care about Jesus. Jesus is a joke. You see? That's what they're saying. Jesus is a joke. Oh, it's taken a while. It's taken half an hour, but we found it. Oh, man. Oh, wow. Do you see what they're doing here? Oh, wow. This is like the Israel version of the WEF. This is the Israeli version of um, Confucius institutes in the universities. So what they do is they get fake Christians, right? Brainwash them, or they just have Jewish people that are fresh off the boat from Israel, and they get them into these institutes, right? And then they astroturf them, and they're the future leaders of Australia. You know, they start them young, right? Make sure they got a clean record their entire lives, and next thing you know, the president of Australia, the new dictator of Australia, we think is a good Christian girl, Greta Thunberg. You know, which is a bad version, but you know, we get people don't even like what the questions I'm saying. The questions I'm asking right now, people don't ask. Um, these questions are almost never heard anywhere. I never hear anyone asking and digging deep to go, is this real? Like legit questions. I know this is something that intelligent people do. They ask stupid questions. Like, what does that word mean? What are you trying to say here? And they're in fact, we need to be asking these questions. Lachlan Macquarie Institute. Wise leaders. I think that's where they build the new leadership of today. That's a big factor here. You know, putting new people in charge to run us, the real Christians, enslave us further. You notice they never promote real Christians? They put us in jail, lock us up, silence us. There we go. More anti-Semitism. You notice there's more posts about anti-Semitism on the Christian lobby page than there is about Jesus being speared at the Mardi Gras by a bunch of gays and lesbians. You would think that would be like the most offensive thing to a Christian. They'll be calling for them all to be arrested and hung, like proper Spanish Inquisition type stuff. No, none of that is happening here. The only thing that matters to these people is we need to stop anti-vilification so we can talk shit about the Muslims, right? And we need to protect only one special group with anti-Semitism laws. Specific anti-Semitism laws. No I don't even... What is the word when you, like, publicly display that you want to kill Jesus? If it was a Jew... Like, we don't even have a word for that. It's like anti-Christianism? What is that word? We don't even have that word because the media never talks about it, because the media is run by Israel, not Christians. If it was run by Christians, they would have their own word for it, wouldn't they? I don't even know what you call it. Like, literally calling to spear Jesus. and the most important thing for the Christian lobby here is anti-Semitism. We need to protect them, but who cares about Jesus, really? We'll just make 1 or 2 posts about Jesus. Yeah, you can kind of see it. You can kind of see how a lot of Christians would just buy this, and they would just be like, they'll probably spend money there. They'll probably believe this. Wow. It's really insidious. It's really like, if you're a real Christian, this is pure evil. This is satanic stuff, what I'm looking at right here. When you're falsely tricking Christians into believing that you are Christian and you have their best interests so that you can push some other agenda. Oh no. Oh no.
Many years ago, he and his sons, very young at that time, have been attacked racially because of their Jewish ethnicity. Now, our Premier Jacinta Allen wanting to...
Okay, Miss CCP member or whatever the fuck you are. Where's the evidence of that? I bet if they were actually vilified or racially attacked, those people would be in jail, arrested, because the law comes down hard on anybody that says or does anything against Jewish people in Australia, but does nothing for Christians. So I think that's a lie. I'm calling you out, Miss Asian lady that was born overseas, has a strong accent and pretends to be a Christian, which posts stuff calling white men hate white men all racist, which is basically foreign. You're a foreign agent. You're a foreign agent. You're an evil foreign agent.
Enact a new law called the Anti-vilification and Social Cohesion Bill because she wants to protect the Jewish community and anti-Semitism. Now, for Malcolm and his family and the whole Jewish community in Victoria, it should be a welcome news. But that is not the case. Now, Malcolm, you say that this law is in fact not needed or even dangerous. Why do you think that is the case?
Because we only need laws to protect the Jewish community, and, well, the rest of you guys, we need to have the power so that we can squash you whenever we want to. You're not allowed to have rights, you filthy Christians. And this Chinese lady loves that because she hates white people. Clearly.
Thank you.
Racist piece of shit she is.
To all our friends in the Christian community, you know, Australia is founded on great Judeo-Christian values, and one of those is about...
Friends. I think it's more like slaves. Like, we are their slaves. Like, let's just be realistic here. Objectively, I don't see any evidence of us not being slaves.
The premise of law, and at the heart of law is law enforcement. And when I was attacked with my 2 young children, the issue wasn't an absence of laws, it was an absence of law enforcement. And through my lobbying, we were able to get all those individuals charged and even some convictions. So the issue today...
Okay.
Facing Australia's community, Australia's Jewish community, is not an absence of laws, it's an absence of law enforcement. And unfortunately, what we're seeing is a bill being put before Parliament that has its genesis from Fiona Patten, the head of the Sex Party. This has nothing really to do with vilification. This is politicising an opportunity to pass laws that will make discrimination and hatred for religious groups like the Jewish community, like the Christian community, even our brothers in the Muslim community.
Well, I guess we're going to trust that she's Christian. I don't believe she's Christian.
Other faiths. This is not a law needed. This is an excuse to pass laws that will hurt all Australians.
Wow.
You can't make this stuff up. You just can't make this stuff up. So, passing laws to prevent people vilifying you is going to hurt more Australians somehow. You just can't make this stuff up. Okay, the Australian Christian lobbies, they're foreign agents. I'm done. This is it. They're foreign agents. Oh my goodness, I can't believe this. Let's just watch the rest of it. This is comedy gold.
Oh, that is very telling. It seems that behind this law there is hidden agenda. The Jewish community in Victoria needs some form of protection, and yet you say,
hang on. They're getting their anti-Semitism laws, right, to protect themselves, and the anti-vilification laws are there to protect other people. Why can't everybody be protected? Isn't that a Christian thing? Why don't we just protect everybody? Or do we just protect the special people while allowing everybody else to be the victims of vilification? That's what I think's happening here. Why is the Christian lobby promoting this? Because they're allowing hatred of themselves as well.
the Anti-vilification and Social Cohesion Bill is not helping at all. What do you think then is best for the Victorian government to protect the Jewish community? And in what way, if this...
Has she had one Christian on saying, how do we protect the Christian community? No, they haven't. All they did was post one little token post saying, oh, look, they wanted to spear Jesus, which should have been, you know, like if you spear Muhammad and you make a video about, like you create an effigy of Muhammad in Australia, the Muslims would come after you. Like they would take it seriously. But I don't know if, you know, this is where I'll even start asking even more ridiculous questions. Is Christianity, because there's no enforcement here, is Christianity even real? Or is it just an invention by the Israel lobby? Like, is Christianity even real? Is there any Christians out there that can, like, confirm that Christianity is real? Because wouldn't you be outraged at them trying to spear Jesus? And wouldn't they then have, like, notable reverends and leaders in the Christian community coming out and speaking out about it? And wouldn't they be interviewing them all on this channel here? No, they're not. They're interviewing this guy to talk about protecting Jewish people's rights. And this is what the foreign agents always do. They confuse Christians and Jews. They're not the same thing. Christians and Jewish people are two different religions. Just because they're a little bit more similar to the Muslims doesn't mean they're any closer to being related in any way, shape, or form. They're not. They're different. The difference between, say, a Christian and Catholic is more similar, and
new law that is not part.
And that makes more sense to me. But the difference between, say, a Christian and a Buddhist is the same as a Christian and a Jew. They're different religions. But what the foreign agents like to do here is make you think that they're almost the same when they're not. So imagine if you've got a bunch like the new Christian lobby. I'll start up my own, and I'll just start talking about Buddhism and Christianity, and then getting like the Dalai Lama and stuff on, and talking about like we need to protect the Dalai Lama. Like wouldn't if you're a Christian, you'd be looking at that going, what does this have to do with anything?
How is it going to protect the Jewish community then?
I think at the heart of it is a failure.
This This Asian lady that was clearly born overseas is reading from some form of a script. Oh, here we go. Oh man. Yep. So what we've got here is the Christian lobby basically astroturfing influencers, promoting Sky News, mainstream media. They're not your friend, mainstream media. And there's very little here about Australians.
I'm very relieved about the Queensland LNP government's decision yesterday. And it gives me hope because finally we seem to have some politics.
Yeah, this is blatantly run by Israel. So the leader of so this is the leader, isn't it? What's the penalty for impersonating a Christian? Isn't it death?
Review by people that are captured by this ideology. But on a positive note, they are looking into it at least. However, this review will only be completed in the middle of 2026, and meanwhile, children are still taking puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones, so we need to call for an immediate ban of this treatment. So please continue to write to your member. Let's get this.
Look at her eyes. Look closely at her eyes, okay? Look closely at her eyes and how her face is moving. She reminds me of a bunch of Australian women that pretend to be Christians. They do the same thing. Watch this.
Breaking news again. The health minister.
Actually, I'll make it silent so you can see. Look at her eyes. She's dead inside. There's very little creases around above her nose. There's very little signs that she actually has emotions. And her eyes look dead. We're dealing with evil people. We've been taken over by an evil cabal, and there's no safe place for Christians. You see how her face is trying to pretend that she cares? How old do you reckon she is? Almost 40? She's probably almost 40. Let's just say she's 40. And there's like no creases around the eyes where normal people show emotion. Yeah, I don't trust these people. There's what looks like some Asian foreign agent, and then there's this thing with dead eyes, pretending to be a Christian. Look, I guess anyone can call themselves a Christian, right? There's no way I can prove it. I can't prove whether these people are Christian or not, but I can look at what they're promoting and read between the lines. It's like there's no way I can prove there's a Chinese Communist Party member. If you're a Christian out there, you should be outraged by this. You really should be outraged. You should be really angry. This is fascinating. I just want to watch her eyes. Yeah, I don't see any emotion. Wow. I just don't see any emotion in her eyes. Yeah, quite often with Christians, fake Christians, you'll see this. Fake smiles. They're really well manicured. They got the gold watch. They got the bright, clean teeth. They got the nice hair. They live in a nice apartment. And where does all their money come from? It comes from you or whoever's funding them. Those eyes look dead to me. I can freeze it at any... Okay, there's a little bit there, but it looks like acting to me. Yeah, this is someone that I would not trust with anything. I just can't trust these type of people. Yeah, this is... I feel like I'm looking at evil, to be honest. Wow. Anyway, wow, this video is way too long. I'll speak to you guys later.